Hi guys!
Hey everyone!
Welcome to Make 2 and a Sims 4 speed remodel. We are going to be remodeling this country clinic here. It's a vet clinic that came with the Sims 4 Cats and Dogs expansion pack. We've just placed it on this lot in Del Sol Valley, as you can see here, and it's unfurnished, and we are going to be redoing the entire inside of it to turn it into a single family home.
Yes, this is a major remodel. You've basically taken the shell of this vet clinic, ripping out everything on the inside, I think, and converting it into a house.
Yeah, I guess the idea is the vet clinic is already shaped like a house, and so maybe it was a single family house before it became a vet clinic, so this is just me doing a sort of version of what that single family home must have been like before it became a vet clinic, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense.
I mean, the reason that I chose this is, well, there are a couple of reasons, but one reason is, well, we have a Sim family in our Let's Play the Eden Show series who we'd like to move out of an apartment because it's getting a little too small for them and move them into a single family home. And one of those Sims, Jamie Eden, has ambitions to get famous, so there is, I guess, an advantage for him and the family to move to Del Sol Valley. And then there are basically 3 options for them to choose from to live in Del Sol Valley in an affordable place. And one of those places is right next to, I don't know if you saw it off the side of the screen there, this little craftsman style bungalow. And this vet clinic basically is the best matching for its size house that I could find to match the craftsman next door. So that's kind of why I went with this one.
Yeah, it's a nice style of house, the one next door, but that's not playable. That's just, you can only look at the outside. And I think it is a cool thing to try and take an existing house in the game and just see what else you can do. It's a different type of creative challenge than starting from scratch, particularly one where it wasn't even a house in its last incarnation.
I mean, to be honest, I thought it would be easier to just remodel the vet clinic rather than building a whole new house from scratch. But it took me a long time.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think it took you longer than it does when you're starting from scratch. Because it's not straightforward.
Well, it's just that I just take a really long time decorating. So, I'm really fussy, and sometimes I just could spend hours doing things like this.
That's the beauty of playing Sims, of course. You can just get lost for many, many hours having fun building a little house. Now, as you can see here, you've got rid of every single internal wall, so you've got a completely blank canvas.
Yeah.
And as usual in all your builds, you're starting with the kitchen.
Yeah. So I did remove all the internal walls. The idea behind this is that I wasn't going to do too much to the exterior of the house. I did recolor the exterior walls of the house. I did replace basically all of the windows and doors, but I don't want to, make the house a different shape, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think the issue with some of the windows and doors you replaced is they made it feel very much like
a business.
Yeah, exactly. So getting rid of the ones at the front, like the big entrance way for a more normal family entrance, I think makes sense.
Yeah. There will be a tiny amount of cheating in terms of I did move or replace windows that maybe weren't there originally. So, cutting a window into a wall is a big structural change, or replacing a window with blank wall, that's a big structural change. But it's not as big in my mind as, moving the walls around to change the actual shape of the house.
Yeah, I don't think any of that, certainly for an American style build, which is normally made of, 2x4s and that kind of thing, and vinyl siding. That's not structural. You haven't done anything structural to the house.
Yeah.
Structural things would be moving the outside walls and changing the foundations, which you haven't done.
Well, the nice thing also about Sims is that you can remove all these internal load-bearing walls and just change the shape of the rooms inside, and it doesn't matter as much.
That is true.
But as we know from shows like House Flipper... No, not shows. Why do I keep mixing that up? House Flipper is the game, Fixer Upper is the show.
House Flipper, there are no internal structural walls. In the real world, and Fixer Upper, there are internal structural walls.
Yes.
Which hold up the roof.
Right.
If you're only in a one-story house like our house, I'm sure some of our walls internally are load-bearing because they've got to keep the roof up.
I'm sure some of those walls that were removed during previous remodels in our house probably shouldn't have been removed because our house has a bit of floor slanting issues in some parts.
Yeah, I reckon anybody watching this who's living in a house that's more than, say, 40 years old will have some lopsidedness or some creakiness.
Yeah. Oh, so by the way, you can see here I was placing a couple of high chairs, and that's because the family who we want to move into this house, they have, at the moment, twin baby boys, and the idea is the boys are going to age up to toddlers relatively soon, or at least at some point. And so it just makes sense. They're living in a 1-bedroom apartment in San Myshuno right now, and they just need a little more room once the boys start running around.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got 2 high chairs there at the island counter for feeding times, and then you're going to see more toddler stuff later on when I get to the proper decorating. But right now I'm just kind of messing around with the building of walls and stuff. When I first showed you my plan for this house and we talked through how the rooms should be, you were like, it's a really big house and that's a lot of space to play with.
Yeah, because we knew how many people it was for. It's for, as we said, it's for a couple and 2 toddlers. And yeah, it looked really big. So I think this is going to be more than 2 bedrooms, I think. No, it's going to be 3 bedrooms or even 4 bedrooms.
I think it'll be 3 bedrooms plus a little office. I think that a 3-bedroom house, the conventional wisdom in most of the US is that for resale value, a 3-bedroom house is a better investment than a smaller, like a 2-bedroom house or something like that, because there are more families who want to live in a detached single-family house. So they're going to want 3 bedrooms at least for, just the space and the versatility.
Yeah, I see that. Ours is a 3-bedroom house.
Even though there's only 2 of us and a cat, yeah.
Yeah, all the bedrooms are small, but as you said, for resale value, and just there are so many more 3-bedroom houses because of that, because 2 bedrooms are harder to sell. They don't make as many of them, certainly not around here.
Yeah.
But what I really like about this too is, yes, it's a lot bigger house than the family we're thinking of is in now, a lot bigger space than in an apartment right now. It is right next to a freeway. So how I justified it when you saying, I'm going to build this, I think, a pretty big house. Well, it's next to a freeway, so it's really going to bring down the real estate prices.
I was actually really sad to be building this in Del Sol Valley, to be quite honest. I showed you this lot in Brindleton Bay, which I thought was gorgeous. It was actually right next to another vet clinic that was made with the Cats and Dogs pack that, the game developers pre-made. And it was just beautiful. It was like there was a gorgeous creek behind the property and lovely woods, and the street in front was also really pretty. And I was like, why can't they live here? But it just kind of, we like the idea of the family moving to Del Sol Valley because one of them wants to try and, get into the fame business, I guess.
Yeah, and also I just think this isn't necessarily going to be their forever home. Maybe the one in Brindleton Bay would be their forever home.
Yeah.
But they can't go from a 1-bedroom apartment to a 3-bedroom beautiful house in the lovely, quiet island neighborhood.
They could if they won the lottery, which they just...
Well, they haven't yet.
They haven't yet. They just won't win it.
No.
I'm so annoyed.
Yeah, but anyway, they're going to live here, and the house is going to be lovely because you're making it lovely.
Oh, how nice. Well, as you can see, I went for this fireplace flanked on 2 sides by bookcases. I really like the idea of built-in bookcases around a fireplace, especially for like a suburban home. I think that really makes, it's a really traditional kind of suburban home for the States anyway. And you're going to see me messing around a lot with the placement of the sofa and chairs around this area. Why is it that the sofas and chairs in this game are just so... there's just such a lack of stuff that I want, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had to pause a couple of times when you were recording this because you're just like, why are the sofas so awful? And I don't know if there's any that we would say, oh yeah, I'd like to have this in my house. In other games, certainly Sims Freeplay, we think has much more variety of styles, and some of them look much more stylish and modern. The things in Sims 4 are just all very quirky.
Well, it's just, why do you have a sofa that has an exposed wooden frame? Who wants the sofa like that inside your house? Especially if you have toddlers, right? And I didn't even think about that, actually, but, for people in real life, obviously The Sims is different, but for people in real life, you don't necessarily want to have hard-edged furniture when you are... living with a family or kids or I'm really clumsy.
we did specifically get our bed, the one that has fabric around it, rather than we used to have a hard wooden frame. It was upholstered to reduce the chance of getting bruises. Of course, immediately underneath the upholstery is like metal because,
but it's still somewhat padded. And also, I think it just looks nicer to have fully upholstered furniture in this kind of setting anyway. Like, obviously, if we're talking about a modern house or, I don't know, like a loft space or something like that, maybe that kind of chunky, hard industrial furniture makes sense. But this is not that kind of thing.
I don't think I've ever seen one like that in real life. And even if that is one of the options, the fact is you can't even get a style like that with fabric covering it, so you at least have the whole thing matching in colour. You've already got 2 colours on the sofa, which some people don't like. So there's very few stylish, from whatever era of the last 100 or so years, stylish sofas. You've got some weird things, you've got some vampiric sofas, but nothing you think, oh yeah, this is really cool.
Anyway, I ended up cutting out quite a lot of me just spending really long time choosing from different color swatches and different styles and things like that. I mean, we speed these videos up quite a lot. This one, I think I sped up to 500% or something, and I still sat there and watched the full cut of everything just so that I could delete those minutes, even at 500%, minutes of me choosing color swatches for things. Because, I don't know, I just feel like things were a little bit lacking in terms of, choice and options and all of that in terms of the furniture, so...
Yeah, I don't know. As we're also saying, a lot of less speed builds that we watch for Sims 4 are often more about the outside and the shape of the place rather than doing all the decorating. They obviously do the decorating too, but things like Hogwarts or those kind of amazing builds, it's more about the structural stuff they do, because the furniture items are kind of limited and you've got to be pretty creative. Also, the colours are kind of limited.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's ridiculous to say that, though, because we have gotten so many packs. And actually, I bought... You can see I'm placing these new toddler beds. I got the toddler stuff pack because it's currently on a discount and it's like 40% off or something like that. So I thought now's a good time, especially that I'm building a house for twin toddlers, to, go ahead and take the plunge and buy that one. But even with all the new stuff, like I'm still, I cut out so much of me like deciding on the colors of these beds. So yeah, what's her face? Little Simsy. She's another YouTuber. I just said what's her face. That sounds so disrespectful, but that's how I talk in real life. Sorry. Anyway, she did a video recently basically ranting about all the issues with Sims 4 build mode. And she didn't even get to like half the things I would have said in a similar video, but it's just like, there is so much to say about how things can be improved in this game. And especially across different packs and how things don't match across different packs. Like, anyway.
Even how I don't know if you can have a sofa and living room chair that match.
Right. It's just
I just don't know if they literally exist.
Unless they
come
the same
in style.
Well, no, I mean, unless they come in the same pack, then they might have a chance of matching. But then it's like, why don't the different woods that are available in the game just have a certain palette, and therefore when you buy one pack versus another, the woods match? Yeah,
like in real life, there'll be a room and board or an IKEA line. And you can just get like 6 different things from that IKEA line or room and board line, or they'll all be cherry, and the cherry wood will all be the same color.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
anyway,
this is looking to be a lovely and massive room for 2 toddlers. Yeah. Look at that huge rug.
It's beautiful. There are like different color swatches of the rug as well, but I think I cut some of that out.
I think when we were watching LGR reviewing the pack, I think just before we bought it, he complained about the rugs. They were so big, they wouldn't fit in any room that he had.
But that was before they enabled the ability to make things smaller.
Did you make that one smaller?
No, this is the exact size.
Because you've given them a massive room.
Yeah, well, so it's a 3-bedroom house, but because they are still toddlers at this point, they are going to share a room, and then the other room will be just like a guest room or a spare room. So yeah, it's like the master suite, the toddlers room, and then a spare room, guest room. But I guess if the family stays in this house long enough, they would have the option to split the toddlers up. I guess at that point they'd be
maybe. They're twins though, so they might just want to stay in the same room.
Well, I like the idea of twins having separate identities,
It's up to them.
It is up to them, but I think it's probably healthy for the twins to not always be in each other's pockets.
Okay. Well, I still think it's a lovely room, and I think it's good to have a big room for toddlers because that can kind of be their playroom.
Yes.
Of course, it won't be. The playroom will be the entire house. But I think it's nice to try and be optimistic.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking on the parents' part that they can keep their mess in their own room.
I like the idea that if we continue with the Let's Play in this house, then things will start looking lots more cluttered as time goes on. I mean, to be honest, like, I'm splashing out on all of this furniture, like, moving from a one-bedroom apartment, and we've talked before about this family's money struggles in that Let's Play series. They probably realistically wouldn't afford this house in real life with all the furniture and stuff that I'm doing to it.
Well,
but they're getting a loan from the bank, let's say.
They're getting a loan from the bank. They're either getting a mortgage or they're renting.
That's true. They could be renting the house.
They were in a really beautiful brownstone right in the middle of the city, and now they've come out to the valley right by the freeway. So I'm sure the rent is going to be more, but not necessarily that much more.
Also, Jamie is a small business owner, so he owns a restaurant. And Abigail, she is a vet, which actually was another reason why I wanted to go with this, because I kind of like the idea of a vet living in an old vet house, or maybe one day this becomes her vet clinic, who knows. But anyway, they are a 2-earner household, so maybe, yeah, they've been saving up for a while and they have good credit between the two of them, so the bank is like, yeah, we'll loan you money for this house.
And, you know, it's a game. We want them to have a nice house, so
Absolutely.
You made them a nice house, and that is fine. Now,
All
you've
right.
been going back and forth, I think, between... No, this is the
This
guest.
now is the
this is the
master
master
suite,
bedroom, yeah. Because it's big. It's
Yeah.
got an interesting shape to it, too.
Yeah, that's because on the right side of it, the right side of it there, that's going to be the office or the media room. Don't know if you've noticed, but in the living room, there is no TV. There's only that fireplace with
Yes,
the
of
built-in
course.
bookcases. So I'm putting a TV here in the master bedroom that'll go above this little table here. And there's also going to be a TV in that media room next to the bedroom. And the media room will be where Jamie works on his videos, the stuff that he's doing to kind of create buzz. He's going to be like a, YouTuber. He wants to create buzz for his restaurant and his business. And so that room is going to double as a TV room and also media production room. And also for the two of them, the couple, Abigail and Jamie, they're just going to have the ability to watch TV in their room if they want to as well.
Cool. But the kids try and limit, I guess, the TV.
Yeah.
But they watch, which I think is fine. What do they call... They have this kind of like movable space. This is kind of an everything room. Obviously, they're using it as an office, but when you have like a really large landing, say, on the second floor.
Oh, yeah, flex space.
Yeah, flex space. It kind of sounds like a flex space.
I guess a flex space, though, is not technically a room. It's just a space, I think.
Right.
I don't know.
The secret's in the name, though.
I don't know. This, you see me here moving things around in the office. Like, I took forever doing this as well. It's sort of like a puzzle. When you have a small room, but you want to put in certain pieces of big furniture, like a 3-seater sofa and this angled media production desk, it takes a bit of finagling and moving things around. So yeah, I cut out a lot of that stuff as well. And then I ultimately ended up making the room bigger just to fit everything in.
Yeah, I'm thinking of our room where we're recording right now. We have an old sofa behind us, and I think our room in Sims language would be 4x3.
Okay.
But we have maybe 4x5.
Yeah.
No, 5x3.
Okay.
We have a computer, we have a closet, we have an old sofa, and we have some drawers. So you can get by with a small space. I think you are giving them enough space to walk around happily, which I think is even better.
I think a fun thing about our office space is that the sofa that we have in here, it's a big 3-seater sofa, and it's the sofa that we used to have as our main sofa before we moved into this house. In order to fit it into the office, and I was like, we need to have a sofa in the office because we spend so much time in here recording, video editing, or playing video games, and it's just nice to have a nice piece of furniture in here, so why not use the sofa? And also we spent a lot of money on the sofa, so we're keeping it. But in order to get it in here, we had to take the door off the frame in order to fit the sofa in here.
Yes.
And I felt so bad for the movers because I was so insistent on the sofa going in here, and you were like, maybe we don't have to.
Maybe we'll put it in the basement. No, that would have been even harder.
Yeah. But I was just like, no, it'll fit.
And it did fit. I mean, it was a tight fit, but it is a relatively svelte little sofa.
And aren't you glad that we have it?
It is nice, yeah, because
You've taken a lot of naps on that sofa.
Yeah, we record and then you do the editing often, and then I will sit behind you and try and be quiet and by being quiet, I sometimes get a little sleepy. And I pull up a blanket and might take a little nap.
But we've also sat on it a lot while just watching videos or playing video games here.
Exactly.
It's just a
useful.
comfy space to be.
Yeah. Also, for the sort of practical reasons, it's good to have something that is a sound dampener in the room behind us.
Yes.
We have some foam panels on the wall that we got from Amazon or whatever to try and act as sound dampeners, but furniture is a really good thing, suddenly fabric furniture.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got hardwood floors in this room and we don't have a rug, so it's nice to have, upholstered furniture. Again, the reason that you have a fully upholstered sofa or another reason.
We don't have any furniture in our house is not, well, we have 2 sofas. Both of them are fully upholstered. We have one in the lounge and one, as we said, in the study. They've both got upholstery everywhere. They've only got exposed wood, like I guess for the legs.
Yeah. Anyway, God. There are so many things we could rant about, but I think still it is fully possible to make a beautiful home in this game, and so I don't want to knock it for all that, because certainly this is the most complex and powerful house building and decorating game there is out there, so...
Yeah, I still hanker over one we've said before where you can work out where the plumbing should go and stuff.
Sure.
And you say, well, that's too much like real life, which it probably would be. But it'd be kind of fun to have Sims 4 where you could literally route everything and be like, this light switch controls these lights.
Yeah, it would be cool. I think, the thing is, I just prefer decorating to building.
I know.
And that's why I thought this would be easier. So, I was like, I don't have to build the house from scratch. I don't have to try and make a craftsman-style house. I can just plop this one down and just fill the rooms. But actually, it took a lot longer than I was expecting.
Also because it is a big house, and decorating a big house obviously is harder in many ways than decorating a small house. Because you want, suddenly for making a video, you want to fill up the space to make it feel rich and lived in and cozy.
And because you're building for particular characters, so it's nice to imagine the different types of decorating schemes for them. All right, so this is a little laundry area inside the main bathroom.
Cute.
Yeah, I just thought it would be important to have laundry for the family.
Yeah.
I think I play around with some of this, like the stackable versus non-stackable, and I think these shelves here, that's actually a table. So I just kind of move them above the laundry machines. I think, it looks really good as a shelf.
Does look good,
so,
yeah. I do like a nice laundry room.
Well, it's both a laundry room and a bathroom, so yeah.
Which I always find weird, and we watch tiny house videos, we've said that before on the channel, and they often put the laundry room in the bathroom, and I don't know if that's legal. Because you need to have such high wattage for the laundry things, and you have to be very careful in a room with lots of water, and certainly steam like in a bathroom, for putting those kind of devices there. So I don't know if they mix.
Weren't you just the one saying in a house flipper video that a radiator was fine to put a towel on because it was all water inside?
Yeah.
But the point is not that there's water inside the radiator. The point is that the towel gets really heated against the metal of the radiator.
It doesn't get that hot.
Okay, fine. But all I'm saying is
not in the UK.
To me, it just seems like having a really big heat source that is automatically a fire hazard, regardless of whether it's water inside or water in the pipes or whatever.
I think if you're doing them properly, they might be a bit too hot to touch, but not that much too hot to touch. So I don't think they should ever get hot enough that you could burn yourself on them, or certainly that you could set a towel on fire. Okay. You probably got them up too high if that's the case.
Okay. But so I understand your point.
But maybe you also have special ones in the bathroom that don't get that hot.
By the way, this is the house of the console tables. I think there's 3 console tables in a single room. So.
Well, they are useful because they fill up that blank wall space.
They do.
Even though it's nice to have, we actually don't have that much wall space because we have a bit of an open plan in our main living area. Mm-hmm. I personally like having empty wall space. It's good for doing things like headstands and things. But you don't want to have blank walls when you're doing a build.
Yeah.
Either in real life to try and get people to buy it, or on a speed build to try and show off a beautiful house.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the inside of the house is really getting there. And now this is the part where I just kind of go in and fill in the extra little bits like curtains. And I could go on a whole other rant about curtains, but I won't. But basically, I think the curtains, they make the house feel a little more finished and make the house, I sneakily put in an extra window there just to give a bit of symmetry to this room. Yeah. But I'm just trying to move the furniture out of the way of the curtain so that there isn't any clipping of the items. and just putting little finishing touches on decorations here and there. But I think the house is
some things in the backyard as well, I saw.
Yeah.
Some playthings for the toddlers, which I think was also from the toddlers stuff pack.
Definitely. So I think they've got a swing set, which I think will be really fun and cool to see. And there is a little pool as well. And a little jungle gym kind of thing, like a tree-shaped, I don't know. I haven't actually played with the stuff.
Yeah, it's a jungle gym with mushrooms on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just me putting down whatever I thought looked good. I didn't mention before, but this house is actually next to a playground.
Yes.
And the back gate, you can see, it's hard to see from this shot, but there's a back gate to the property that goes onto this paved pathway that then leads into the park. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, you can see it just in the top left of the frame from time to time, like there. And what also cool is just behind the house also there's a wall with loads of really fun graffiti art on it.
Yeah. So it makes up for the house being right next to a freeway a little bit, I guess.
I still think it's a nice area. It's just...
Yeah.
It's not like a crime-ridden part of town. It's just it's got a freeway, so it's going to be noisy.
All right, so what is going on here? Yeah, just putting in little bits of clutter on the table. It's just... I mean, obviously the house is not moved in yet, but I just like the idea of putting stuff in to make it look like it's moved in because, it's a decorating game, so why not? So the kitchen, for instance, Jamie, as we said, he is a restaurant owner and he's a chef, so things go in the kitchen. Little bits and bobs in there, like, what are those, olives, peppers? Yeah, things like that, little bits of clutter.
And that is a really lovely kitchen.
Yeah. I really like kitchens with islands. I really want one. This is like my dream kitchen, to have a kitchen with a massive island so that we don't have to bump into each other when we're trying to prepare dinner.
Yeah, but our dream is also to have a tiny house, so...
Our dream is to retire into a tiny house.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure that we...
Or maybe just have a massive kitchen with an island, which is also our dining table. Then we have a living room, which has, like, it's an open plan living room / study / bedroom. I
think I just want more counter space. So maybe it doesn't even have to be an island. But you see tiny homes where they prioritize the counter space. So that can be done even in a tiny home.
Basically, even when they do that, they prioritize to make it really convenient for one person to cook at once, but not two people to cook at once. And sometimes both of us cook at once. Like, I'm making a dessert and you're making the main course. Or I'm chopping onions and you're preparing other vegetables.
Yeah. Well, we don't mind bumping into each other, but I think when we have people over, it's not as nice to be bumping into. So anyway. All right, so I am definitely now just putting on final touches, little tissue box and all that stuff. Oh, rugs, right. Totally had forgotten to put in rugs in these blank spaces. I think it definitely helps the house feel not so big and weirdly unbalanced if you have rugs taking up some of that visual space.
Yeah, because you've got such a big open plan area here. Yeah, we spoke in when we did that last house flipper video, how open plan living is really cool, but does come with its own design challenges. It's not just easy because you've got one big room, and that does make it a little bit difficult to, as you said, have things balanced and feel right.
Yeah. But for a Sims Let's Play, I find that it's nicer to have a big empty space in the house because then the Sims don't get lost behind pieces of furniture or behind walls or whatever.
Yeah.
It's more like a stage play, like a play that's taking place on a stage. The furniture is not how it would look in real life. Like, they just have a backdrop and they leave empty space in front of the backdrop for the actors to walk around and do their business in. And that's kind of the same thing for a Sims Let's Play. The idea is that the house is the backdrop and you want to make sure that you can see them clearly at all times.
Yeah, without them getting lost behind walls or going into different rooms when they don't need to.
Yeah. I mean, that's partly why I designed the big Eden Show mansion in Oasis Springs the way it is. That has a lot of big open space as well for you to clearly see the Sims walking around. Alright, so now we're showing you guys just some shots of the final version of the house.
So we hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let us know what you think in the comments below. If you want to get a copy of this house, we will put it up on the gallery once we've done a little bit more testing of that, so do check that out. And if you're new to our channel, feel free to subscribe because we've got plenty more Sims 4 on the way.
Thanks for watching.